Alright, so since the weather decided once I finished my work week that it was going to be rainy and miserable and crappy Saturday and Sunday, I decided to put in my new Koso oil pump. It's crazy. I mean, 22 has been out for a while now, but there's still not a lot of crap on how to do stuff. It didn't come with any instructions, so I went Koso North America or whatever it's called. Look up the right one. You can print it out, at least see, because different pumps have different ways they hold basically this pin together. Some have like a C-clip, some use pins like this. So we'll try and figure this out together. Sorry for the lighting. The broad that I hired for the office hates LED and anything that's not that stupid orangey red light. So I imagine you could lay it over on its side and do it without changing the oil, but I've got 600 and some miles since I put the new cam in, and the flash has bumped my red line up to 10K, and I've been hitting it a lot. So I got some Lucas and a new filter, and a lot of people with the 22 and up motors or 21 overseas, they don't want to pull their side cover off and I dropped the bolt and check their screen. Oh yeah, keep paper towels handy. You still got to check your screen, especially after, you know, first 500 miles or so of break-in, because I had a bunch of crap in mine. Now most of your cover bolts are going to be 8mm, except for these two, because I already pulled off the slider. As far as sliders go, get ones that bolt through the motor mount and have another support up here. There's cheaper ones that only bolt to the case. You don't want that. If you actually want to protect your motor, don't get something that's going to break it. Another thing I did is I made this so if they're different lengths, I can keep them in order and keep track of them. Might as well just pull these goobers out first. Oh, so I've never done an oil pump before, so we're gonna do this together and see what we find. I know the stock oil pump in the 22 and up is higher flow than the previous. Oh, it was like 8.9 or 9 point something millimeter in the previous generation motors, and these are a 10, so the gain isn't as much. And I know as far as the old ones, the Takagawa was like the big beefy one you wanted to go with. And I was trying to look it up for the new motors, but everything was just really confusing. Like, even their website didn't list anything by year. It was like by serial number, and I'm not big brain enough to figure that crap out. The Koso one only advertises 20% increase. So 20 is better than nothing, because I'm also have the oil cooler, 149 kit, A-racer, some other stuff I'm gonna do. So I need some more flow. And this typically isn't there. It's only there if you have the sliders. Jeez, I'm gonna lose those. Somebody remember what order they went in. Okay. Better just go to the floor. And remember every now and then, oh yeah, I like to use foil to keep the oil off the exhaust. I got, where'd it go? 25 square feet. It was $1.40 at Walmart. And I mean, you use 6 inches every time you do it, so that's gonna last for 50 oil changes. Alright. Now, I didn't get a new case gasket, or cover gasket. So, we're gonna, fingers crossed, not need one. Just like the crush washers on the drain plugs, I never replace them all the years I've ever done them, and I've never needed to. I know I should, I just don't. It's the old if it ain't broke don't fix it thing. I mean, I've done like 24 oil changes on bikes and never changed it once and never had a leak. What are you gonna do? Now, getting that one back in there isn't gonna be fun. It's gonna be sort of long, but anything else I've looked up, it's just like, yeah, I bought this pump, and then they take the side cover off, and they're like, yeah, there's the oil pump, and then take it off, and they put a new one on, and then put the cover on. They're like, oh, done. Yeah, no, there's all kinds of little crap you gotta use. Oh, anyway, back to the flow rates. When they're talking, oh, I'll lose that tiny pin in there. When they're talking about millimeters, it's the width. The wider it is, the more it's gonna flow. I think. Something like that. So, a little background. People have said to me, how long have you had your grom? And I say, I don't know. And they say, well, how can you not know? I mean, you bought it new. Just look at what it was titled. Well, it was, I was looking for a while when the new style came out, and couldn't find any anywhere. Emailed my closest Honda dealer, and they're not really, they're more like off-road kind of stuff, and, you know, good kind of dirty guy business. so wasn't super up on emails. And I was about to drive like 3 hours to go get one. And right before I was gonna do that, he finally emailed me back. He's like, "Oh, I got one, and it's the really cool SP color scheme, blah blah blah." Which I wasn't really looking for it, but it was the only one around, and I didn't care about. Oh, I wonder if I can. Well, this. Do this? No. So I went up there, and it ended up I got an SP for less than I would have just got a base model anywhere else, because the guy's a good guy. The thing is about not knowing how long I've had it, almost a year, somewhere around a year. I have no conception of time, but I got a letter from the state, and I usually just ignore them because they want money for something. And then I had that for a while, and I opened it up, and here it was all the title information. When he sent it into the state, he was off by about $4. So they never titled it. So I wrote a check for like $4.16. And then it was finally titled. So I was driving it for like a year without technically legally owning it. Gotta be good with your fingers, boys. So yeah, I can't just look at the title and know how long I've had it. What I gotta do is I gotta go back through like my Facebook photos, and I wasn't immediately posting it or anything, but I could at least get like the month. I did pull this apart once before. I know there's a little dongle dingle thingy, that the clutch thingy you don't want to lose. I think I needed to do that. Okay, so you don't need to do that. The only longer ones are longer because of the you know. So I don't need to unhook the clutch. From what I've seen, this is so much easier to change than the previous gen because it has a filter and not a spinner, so you don't have to try to, or you don't have to get the spinner big hamster wheel off to get to the oil pump. Gotta wiggle it just a little bit. Come on. Come with me and you'll... Ooh. Yeah, that's metal. Heh. Yeah, guess who's not replacing that? Okay. Earl pump. Oh, yeah. And like I was saying, get me some needle noses. There's a little bit or two on there. Otherwise, it's clean. The first time I did it, it had some things. Not 8. What do you think? 10? Everything's 10, right? Except that's 11. It's a mess, and I don't care, 'cause I'm allowed to do it. One of those, one of these. All right, back at it. Yeah, longer than I thought. That's what she said. Same as these. I gotta do the clutch upgrade too. I just think put a little more power to it. It's not. It seems to be adjusted weird and that move? Probably. Okay. And here's your stock pump. I know I need to take that off, which does seem to be an 8 or 8 enough. Might be a 7. I gotta pee. Seven. Let's try a 7. There's a 7. Oop. Okay. No. There is a 7.5. I'm not even gonna bother finding it. 8's good enough. Anyway, you gotta transfer a bunch of stuff over. Burn. Alright. These are all samesies, so they can all stay there. Yeah, right direction, that helps. Look how dumb I am. I was like, why is Koso backwards? Because it's like the same upside down, but backwards. So some of these like dowels and this is where the oil goes in and out. They're gonna have to transfer. Okay, so there's that. And this backing plate has to transfer. How okay, so that's that one. Somebody remember that. How does this? That's how. Okay, we'll leave that together for now. Let's compare. Yeah, oh shit. Those have grommets. They will need. And it looks slightly beefier. The overall, no, that is actually a little higher. It doesn't really look that much different though. What's supposed to be the thing is, oh great, all you people that wear gloves, oops, gotta keep the sticker. So this should just be the big pin, the little pin, and spinny dingy. So this should be slightly, yeah. See, that's where you get your more oil. It has nothing to do with the circumference or anything like that. It should be the same. Ooh, I'm bleeding. It's the width. So you know. Okay. Well, I'm gonna sit that old one. Just put that pin there. There's a new one. Goes there. Wait. So stick that in the housing. Stick that in there. I imagine which pin. So 9 stock pin is on there. 6 fixed pin accessory 5. Oh, it's slightly longer than the one they had in there. So before you stick that in all the way, take the pin that comes with it, slide it in the front hole, and then push it in till it drops in the same way like the gear pin goes in. And then the stock base plate. Wait, okay, back up. See, it's great when they never have instructions that you can understand. I mean, the whole thing on the oil cooler is in Japanese. So how do I do this? I need a stock pin. Take that out. So where'd that pin go? Oh. Okay, so I locked that pin in. I need to put You learn from my mistakes, people. That pin doesn't want to come out, but I need it to come out. Okay, so don't do it that way. Put the gear on. Stock gear, stock pin. Drop it in, push that in there. Stick the pin that came with the Koso kit in. I'm sure you can't see it, but in there. It all comes down to the order. Then put the gear on, inner gear, till that drops in. And you put the inner gear in the outer gear. Guess when I put that bolt in, that's that. Besides the dowels and stuff. Torque is not something I know. Make sure these have their O-rings. Get them back in. What's left? Oh, where did this come from? Oh, it fits in more than one place. And that only shows 2. All right, I'm gonna have to go back. I think it's that one's still in there. So it won't be on that one. I think it's this one. What happens if I just do it without making sure? That one's there, that one's there. I mean, it makes sense to me. I'm gonna go with it. I mean, I'll check. Yeah, it's the only one that fits in. Okay, so that one in there. Now, one thing I forgot to do, sort of forgot to do, is you do sort of want to prime the pump. Just dump some of that in there. I don't know. Good enough. What'd I drop? Something dropped. Oh no. Oh. That was just the I put a magnetic oil. Ooh, a little bit. It's funny, I have clone motors and they all come with magnetic drain plugs, but not a freaking high price grom. Okay, I need to wiggle a little bit to get the gear to mesh correctly. Don't just jam it on and make sure you get your hair out of there. I think these are like 9 point something foot-pounds. I don't like, okay, there it goes. I don't like when things don't hand thread into aluminum. Yeah, look up the torque specs. Don't do what I do. I just kind of wanted to go over how you gotta take the old one apart, what you gotta put in, because I think I saw Moto for the new one, they use a C-clip like on the outside of that pin there or something. So they're all gonna go on slightly different. So make sure you get these back in, make sure you get the O-rings back in. Make sure you go to their website and print out their instructions, because you're not going to get anything with it. And that's basically it. Remember to clean your screen. Remember to put oil back in it. Change your filter. Not going to bore you with the reverse of putting the bolts back in, but that's the Koso, because I couldn't find any YouTube videos on this particular pump. Remember to keep all your old shit too. Have a good one.